You are watching Mid-American Conference Football on ESPN, where we welcome you to famed Dick Stadium on the campus of Kent State University, where today 2 MAC programs with renewed energy clashing, looking for a big conference win today. I'm Anthony Lima, joined alongside my bell cow back. That's Doc Holliday. 2 labels for these 2 new coaches. One interim, the other Heisman Trophy winner.
Well, you have a superstar football player in Eddie George. He wants to be a superstar coach. He's off to a great start right now. Had Tennessee State doing some great things, and so far Bowling Green doing the same thing. And then you have Mark Carney. He's an interim tag on his label. He wants to take that off of there and be the permanent coach here at Kent State.
Well, BG, now they're looking for that first road win of the year. How do they go about accomplishing that?
Well, first of all, you got that dog on the end, David Afogo, 6'3", 245 pounds. You talk about you want to keep Drew DeShields in the box, and one of the best ways to do that is with Afogo. And then on Kent State's side, you got DeRillis Clark. He likes to make teams go, damn, and he's done it a couple of times. 2 kickoff return touchdowns. I think that leads the nation. He's averaging about 30 yards per kickoff return, so that's how Kent State can get an advantage in this ball game. Special teams with my guy, DeRillis.
Brings it out. And he has a burst. Huge return. Still on his feet. To the house. Touchdown. DeRillis Clark.
Shows you what, that he is the realest.
There he is. And you can bet Bowling Green has watched that film. They've seen his 2 gigantic touchdown returns this year. And that was a focal point this week for Eddie George, the head coach of Bowling Green.
Well, they call him the realist, the largest. He's the man when it comes to kickoff returns. And when you have ball games like this, special teams can be the reason why you win or lose ball games. And so far, DeRillis Clark always has Kent State in a position to win the ball game.
30.58. That's the average. Seems absurd for a kickoff returner this far into the season. That ball will bounce, and guess what? Does not touch the hands of DeRillis Clark, and therefore I think BG will be happy with that outcome.
Why would you? It's not very good coaching, man, to put the ball in the hands of somebody you know can hurt and harm you. So I don't blame him for keeping that ball away from DeRillis.
All right, so the Kent State offense, that job won by Drew DeShields. You know, there was quite a battle at the start of the year in camp. Guys were banged up. Drew DeShields ends up taking the reins, and he has impressed at times this year. So they'll start this possession at their own 25, and that carry, not much there off to the left side. We're off and running. Let's take a look at some of our players we'll be keeping an eye on throughout today's broadcast. On a beautiful late October day. Boy, Jordan Newman, they are excited about seeing him get those legs churning as we get later throughout the season.
And you just saw him, big back, getting some big things done, want to carry that rock off tackle. And on Bowling Green's side, Gideon Lamprin, he has to be able to stop Jordan Newman and this rushing attack.
Dangerous throw and a near pick 6. Keon Washington got his hands on that dangerous throw.
What you call perfect defensive play. Can you read on the elementary level? Yes, and I can read on the collegiate level. That's what Keon Washington is doing. He read that perfectly. If that ball was just 2 inches lower, it probably would have been a pick 6. So Drew DeShields being off with that ball probably helped him out.
3rd and 8, Golden Flashes connecting on 26% of their 3rd downs this season. DeShields facing pressure, and he is brought down. Did get rid of that ball just in time, and he needs some help getting up off the turf as Bowling Green dialed up the pressure on 3rd down.
That's what you call one of those Uchi ouches. And it was an Uchi ouch because Drew DeShields sitting, laying on the ground for a little while, had to be helped up. And let's see what happened here with Billy Williams, the referee, because Drew DeShields took a huge hit right there off that pressure from that Bowling Green defense.
Illegal formation, offense. Totally declined. Result of play, 4th down.
So the Falcons get their stop And a quick 3 and out
Is wearing 66.
to start things here at Dick's. We've got Brennan Ridley stationed back at about the 26-yard line. And that ball sent away. Not a particularly great punt, so some nice starting field position for Bowling Green as they want to get their offense going. And, Doc, they want to get that run game going after the 33-yard punt.
You have to be able to tote that pill, especially when you come into a situation that Bowling Green finds themselves in. You got your starting quarterback hurt. You also have all your quarterbacks not knowing what's going to happen, but just watch out, my man, Barron.
Yeah,
this is what he does in Tony the Sports Guy.
That is the only throw in the career of Barron May, who's going to be the quarterback. That was in the bowl game last year. It's one of those trick plays, the 68 Ventures Bowl, and now he has the job, at least for today, with some injuries, and he's going to scramble, and that ball thrown right into the turf. Didn't go as well as it did last year in that bowl game.
No, it didn't, but you can see the confidence and how much belief Eddie George and this Bowling Green offensive coaching staff have in Barron May, because even though he hasn't gotten a lot of time, hasn't gotten any time, the first play of the game you would think would be a run. No, he goes back there empty backfield and has him roll out, throws a pass, and the receiver was open. He just, maybe nerves are on him a little bit. He threw it right to the turf.
A little bit of misdirection. Trying to get out off the sweep was Kadarius Roberts, but Kent State a nice job limiting the damage there.
That's just what you call speed. They call it a rocket sweep, and he shot out of there like a rocket. Roberts right there picking up some great yardage on second and long and putting that Bowling Green offense in very good position with third and short, third and 3, third and 4 right now, but still with some great blocking on that rocket sweep, that rocket. And I love what he just did, but Kent State did a good job of pursuit.
BG trying to improve on 34% on third down, and that ball, what a grab! Over the middle of the field. A leaping grab that time by Jaron Johnson, the tight end.
Well, they call him J.J. Johnson, and this is dynamite. That's just a snatch right up the hash. Jaron Johnson double team. Really didn't matter because he says, I'm bigger than you, and I'm bigger than you. I'm going to high point it. I'm going to claw it. And such a great reception, great completion. Bowling Green offense rolling this first series.
Down to the 34-yard line already this drive. Having some success. The handoff on first down. Big hole up the middle and a bruising carry by Chris McMillan.
I love great running back play. You see Chris McMillan, great feet, great blocking by the offensive line, and Chris McMillan is able to find the hole. And it's one thing to be able to find the hole. It's another thing to be able to explode and get through it. Great run by him. They're going to rely on him a lot today because that weapon that they have in Cameron Petaway, we haven't seen him yet, so I don't even think he's playing.
Another handoff. Some speed at the start of that run. It is about a 3-yard carry there to start things on this series. That carry for Bowling Green, they said they were going to get a bunch of guys involved, and they did it right there with Austin Dendy.
Eddie George relying on that running game, and why wouldn't he? He's a great running back, and he feels like he has some good running backs that can take advantage of this Kent State defensive line.
A fake to Dendy inside the catch. It's enough to move the sticks as they went over to Trey Johnson. The nice throw and catch.
I love that. It's just a play action, quick slant, get him. You're going to mano me, just going to quick slant. Great velocity on the pass, great vision to see it, and the receiver, great hands to be able to get it and get down and get a fresh forward.
So they had good field position, and the first drive, Bowling Green marching right down the field. From the 12. Fakes to Porter, but this time wrapped up. Terrific defensive play. Jelani Davis is in there.
That's what you have to do. Big Jelani Davis. He doesn't like how this first series has been going for this Kent State defense, so he's able to shuck his offensive tackle, get around him, and tell the quarterback, I know you're new to this, but I'm true to this. I need you to sit down. Jelani Davis, huge play, and that's the kind of big plays and the kind of momentum that Kent State needs, especially right now because their Bowling Green offense is rolling.
12th sack of the year for this Golden Flashes defense. Handoff, little stutter step. Chris McMillan trying to look for a lane.
I just love how physical he runs. Coach George talked about Chris McMillan, and he also talked about Dendy, and he said, as I said, he was going to rely on their rushing attack today. And why wouldn't him when you have a new quarterback in there? Your starter is hurt and the reserve is hurt, so you have to go to something else in that running game. It's going to be something that he feels like he can take advantage of this Kent State front four and this front seven here on this beautiful day at Dick Stadium.
3rd and 10. Roberts out in motion to the left side, so it's empty. Here comes the rush. Ball thrown into the end zone. A twisting, contorted move, and a touchdown grab. Incredible way to start things out as Jacob Harris retrieves his 4th touchdown of the year. Bowling Green is on the board.
You talk about being a contortionist. You have the quarterback with the back shoulder, so not only is Jacob able to do the back shoulder, comes up with a great catch, able to twist his body, being a big body, and just put one hand out there, one arm out there, and just grab it. Beautiful ball, beautiful throw, but even better catch and able to get down and get 6.
Jackson Cleather, a good hold. The extra point is good. What an opening drive for the Falcons. Took that good field position, marched it right down the field, and a nice touchdown throw from Baron May, but an incredible touchdown catch.
I just love how this was set up. You see Baron May, empty backfield. You almost thought he was going to throw the hitch, but no, he ditches the hitch, throws it to Jacob Harris, who has just a beautiful way to grab that ball, and now he's celebrating on the sideline. He should sit back and be happy because he just made an absolutely outstanding touchdown reception. And looking at that scoring drive, man, 9 plays, 61 yards, just 5 minutes. That's what you call being in control the first part of this game.
Hell, he had some great third down conversions, and you talked about it, the confidence in a quarterback that had thrown one pass in his college career to come out throwing, finish throwing, and they got it done.
See, we hadn't seen him, but they've seen him. They know exactly what Barron May is capable of. That's why talking to Coach George before the game, he had confidence, and he didn't seem to be skeptical at all or apprehensive about putting Barron May out there to start this ball game and to lead this Bowling Green offense.
And that's 2 kickoffs, 2 touchbacks, 2 times no opportunity for DeRealis Clark. So Kent State going to try to get that offense going here on their second possession. First one was an abrupt 3 and out. The pressure dialed up for that Falcon defense. And here is your series between the two teams. 93rd meeting. Storied football programs here in the Buckeye State. Now clashing once again in the Mid-American Conference. First down, handoff, running into a pile. Nothing doing.
And right now, I know Kent State, they're trying to get Jordan Newman going, and I don't blame him because he's a big physical runner with a lot of talent. But right now, that Bowling Green front four is not allowing anything led by that guy right there, Branch Hayes. He's probably the defensive branch of this Bowling Green defensive line. And right now, the Falcons won that matchup just like they won their first defensive series.
Trying to get Newman going. Wolford in motion. He's got speed this time. Cuts it upfield, and a nice gain on second down for Cade Wolford.
And he's one of those players that Coach Mark Carney and the offensive staff wants to get the ball to, send him on the rocket sweep. In order to pick up good yardage, you have to have great blocking downfield, and I love to see the running back out there blocking for his other teammate.
And they go quick. First down and more. That time, Jordan Newman finding a crease, and he took advantage.
And he showed us right there why these coaches love him so much and the opposing coaches hate him so much, because not only does he have the ability to run you over, he can run through you, but still has speed and quickness to get downfield. You look at the numbers. I think it's just his 4th game playing this season, but he's averaging 4.5 yards every time he totes that rock. And if you tote the rock 3 times at 4.5 yards, that's the first down, and that's what you want from your running backs.
Under center, pitch to DeRealis, spin move, and he goes down behind the line of scrimmage. Bowling Green was ready for it.
Well, right then, DeRealis was denied because Bowling Green knew exactly what was going on, but I don't blame Kent State for trying to get DeRealis Clark this rock out in space. But Bowling Green, when you're on that side of the field, you want to keep everything inside of you. Don't let anything get outside of you, and the defender did a great job right there.
Well, they knew they were going to try to get him involved this week a little more than they had. Throwing this one out of bounds, incomplete to Sebastian Brown. We got a chance to talk to Kent State's head coach, and Mark Carney said, yeah, it's DeReal's coming along. They feel like he's getting better with the route tree. They even call the packages that he's involved in the playbook. That is what they affectionately refer to it as.
Well, when you have a player like him, man, even though he's done a great job in the kickoff return game, you got to try to find a way to give him the ball. That's what they're trying to do.
DeShields spinning his way past midfield, but it was 3rd and 12. And a nice job by Bowling Green to make sure that those receivers could not get an opening.
And that's what Bowling Green was going to do. Anytime you have 3rd and long, they couldn't care less about what the quarterback does as far as rushing, because we know Drew DeShields can hurt you with running the rock, but when you have that far to go, Bowling Green defensive coach, he understands that his team has more speed to get to Drew DeShields if he tries to pull it down and pick up the first down with his feet. He did that, and he was denied.
Charlie Durkin gets it away. And retrieving it inside the 3, Bulls on the field. Brennan Ridley lost it, mad scramble, The Falcons did recover, but they are going to be starting their second possession way back inside their 5. Nearly a special teams disaster. And we'll see what BG is able to do with the football. Their second time around when we return. Mid-American Conference Football on ESPN. Precious cargo on the field here at Dick's Stadium. Yes, that is Pudge the cat making the trip from Northwest Ohio to Northeast Ohio. The exotic short-hair Persian.
He got real security too, man. That's not top flight security of the world, Craig. That's real top flight security. Got a little gold chain on Pudge, being treated like the VIP that the cat is.
Not just
VIC, I'm sorry.
That's right. Yeah,
VIC.
very important cat.
My bad, Pudge. VIC.
Or feline, VIF, whatever.
Very important person. There you go.
Also an NIL deal as well. We'll have more on that at halftime. BG just trying to get some breathing room. They go right up the middle to get a few. That cat has been one of the stories of college football this year. Game Day did a feature. You'll see more a little bit later on, but it's kind of part of the bigger story here, which is energy, energy, energy with Eddie George and the Falcons. So from their own 6, out of the gun, got to be careful here. Baron May, if you're just joining us, the starting quarterback. And he will turn around, hand it off. Chris McMillan, who, by the way, they call him Cat. So the felines are a big part of the story here at BG.
But who's the big cat? We know Pudge has been getting a lot of attention. He's the big cat, but Chris McMillan wants to be the big cat right here. I love the spin move. Watch that, to clean up by 0. So Kent State still coming out here with physicality, with a great opportunity to get Bowling Green with the 3 and out and possibly get a punt and get the ball in great field position.
Nice job, Mason Woods. 3rd and 3. May will take it directly, was looking for running room, and that should be enough to move the chains. That's a crucial first down run.
Oh, that's personality and physicality as well. Talking to Coach George, he was talking about Baron May. That's one of the things they say they like about him. They said not only can he go back there, he knows the offense, he can set back and swing it and think it, but he can also ring it with his legs, and right there he was able to ring up a tough run to get a first down.
Well, how about on the opening drive? Eddie George allowing the QB on the road in conference play to throw it, and he went 3 for 4 for 41 yards and the touchdown. The pitch, trying to get to the outside. A nice first down run, but a late flag is thrown that could nullify the action with Allen Middleton getting that pitch.
Good speed, nice little misdirection that Bowling Green is coming out here with. And I see what he's trying to do. You pop him with the physicality, but then you try to hit him with some speed to keep him confused.
Holding, offense, number 55. 10-yard holding from the spot of the foul. Correction, half the distance to the goal. Great first down.
All right, so that negates the nice play, and now BG feeling like they're right back where they started. Penalties were an issue last week, something they tried their best to coach out of them 15 times. They just thought they lost their composure, 125 yards. And, you know, some of the conversation was they got a little too high maybe after that win against Toledo, which was a mega victory.
Yeah, it's mental focus and mental sharpness, and that's something that Eddie George wants them to clean up.
Nice patient carry again up the middle, getting out to the 15-yard line for Chris McMillan.
I like McMillan. I see why this Bowling Green offensive coaching staff and the head coach is so high on him, because I like to watch running backs' feet and vision, and he has great feet, has great vision, but now Bowling Green not in a great situation with 2nd and 9 right now, but this Kent State defense is in a great situation that they can get a couple of more stops.
Another handoff, wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. A great defensive play from C.J. Young, who was all about it from the onset.
That's what C.J. Young is about, man. He makes plays. He just knows where the ball is. He can find the ball almost like he has a radar. But it's one thing to be able to find the ball and get to the ball carrier and bring the ball carrier down, and he had the strength to do that. Just great anticipation, great vision, great instinct, and a great tackle.
3rd and 10. Another tough 3rd down spot for May. Kent State brings 4. Time to throw. A crease and a catch. R.J. Garcia, the second. And that is another 3rd down clutch throw.
And I see what R.J. Garcia did. He just runs his route, stop route, just find the hole, turn around, and Barron May gets it, but still throwing the ball too low, because had he got the ball up just a little higher, he would have given R.J. Garcia to catch that ball, turn around, and make a play. But nevertheless, he's able to get the crossover like he just showed you and get these chains to cross over to a 1st down.
Markel Porter in the backfield this time as they bunch up the formation. He'll take the carry, avoids Woods, stays on his feet. Oh, he was one missed tackle away for breaking that wide open, but what a crafty run.
Oh, that's what you call slithery. That's what you call being slithery. Look at that, jump cut, get out of here. No, my guy, you have all wrong, Moses. We ain't parting no Red Sea right here. We're gonna part this hole and I'm gonna get through that. That's just some great feet. Mr. Porter, beautiful run.
First down. Now at the 45. Remember, they started this drive inside the 3. May. They don't pick up the blitz. He's running for his life. And he takes a shot on the sidelines, that time by Joel Cordoba.
Cordoba trying to officially welcome Barron May to this football game, and I don't blame Kent State for bringing some pressure because we have a new quarterback in there, but Cordoba's like, get out of here, sit down.
Yeah, there were some fans might have wanted a late hit, but I still saw feet on the white, on the green side of the white, so they allow it.
Cordoba said, no doba, I got it, everything was fair in football.
This time, May keeps it. They're running a lot of motion. As Roberts, the fake was to Roberts, and May instead This time he could not get around Woods.
Mason Woods with a nice little lick, and it always looks worse when somebody has you by your legs, and Mason Woods is able to come and clean them up. That take a little football up out of it, too.
Well, is that one of those you wish you would have given it up?
Yeah. Oh, when you're the quarterback, yeah. And if you're the running back, you'd be like, you should have gave it to him. You wouldn't have took that hit.
10th play of the drive, 3rd and 7. Here comes Kent State, batted down, and nearly would have been an amazing interception. So it'll be a stop and an incompletion, but that ball, it floated around the paws of the Golden Flashes.
And that's a win for that Kent State defense. And look at Matthias Carroll, man, just making plays. All of them. C.J. Young, that entire Kent State defense. We talked about C.J. Young being able to make plays and knowing what the ball is. He knew exactly what the ball was right there and comes up with the huge Dikembe Mutombo.
Fielded at the 15, it's muffed. And there is a scramble for the football. We're waiting for an early indication. And the pointing is in the direction of the Golden Flashes, so they will hold on to the football. Both teams very fortunate to recover their own punt mishap. Let's take a look as Wayne Harris hit those hands. He took a shot, but Kent State fortunate to hold on to the football. It's 7-0 Bowling Green. So Mark Carney here as the interim head coach, one of 11 interims right now in college football, as apparently buyout is something a bunch of programs seem okay with around the college football landscape, but Carney's done a terrific job already. This has been a noticeable improvement in so many areas.
It's not only that, not only the way they play, but how they approach the game and the discipline they play with. I'm extremely impressed with what Mark Carney is doing so far here at Kent State.
Newman up the middle. about 4 yards on first down. But, I mean, that graphic, the names on the right side, I mean, those are household college football names, and the wheels continue to turn here in college sports these days. We got one in the books already. A entertaining first quarter. I think we've got about 3 more slated for you here at Dick's Stadium. 7-0 Falcons lead. Second quarter up next. All right, we've been tracking some of the elite stats that you're seeing from some Mid-American Conference team. How about fewest passing first downs allowed per game? You can look at that a few different ways. These teams have, especially in the MAC, have played some behemoths out of conference, so some of those teams able to run the football, but still, that is something that these teams certainly have prided themselves in the early going. That play going absolutely nowhere. BG had the playbook.
Ouch. Wow. Man, when you talk about blowing up a play, you know who that was? My guy, Afogo, coming off the end. No, it wasn't Afogo. It's just MJ Cannon was shot out like a cannon. I'm going to take that back off of Fogo like a cannon. Way to go, MJ Cannon, just blowing that play up, leaving Kent State no opportunity to be successful on that play.
Now it makes it 3rd and 9 all of a sudden. Gavin Garcia in the backfield. He'll leak out. The Shields will just throw to the near sidelines. Wade Harris comes back to make the grab. but all over it again, MJ Cannon.
But you have to be able to ad-lib, and that's exactly what Drew DeShields able to do right there. Get some pressure, step up, and the receiver and the quarterback has to be on the same page, and they were on the same page. Great throw, great catch, and great recognition by the receiver to turn around on that out route so Drew DeShields can get him the rock and pick up a first down.
Seen some nice third down conversions. Garcia once again in the backfield. Garcia, the carry, again, bottled up. The defensive line of the Falcons making a statement so far early today.
Well, you got that Bowling Green defense and that Kent State offense, especially where the big dogs are, saying who's going to be the biggest dog in this case, in that case, in a lot of cases so far, it's been that Bowling Green defensive front, Eric George, MJ Cannon, and the rest of the crew just not giving up an inch.
2nd and 8. That time, the handoff looked to be a little late getting started, and Newbin didn't have much of a chance at all. And once again, Eric George. Well, you look up the bio of Eric George, and it says, well, his dad is a Heisman Trophy winner, and his mom is a legendary R&B singer.
SSWW to the V. Eric George, not only he can be a singer or rapper, we know he can be a great defender. He's all-encompassing right now, and that Bowling Green defense trying to continue to be all-encompassing as they attempt to shut down this Kent State offense on this drive. Eric George, big young fella, too.
The junior out of Nashville, Tennessee. 3rd down. DeShields rolling out right again. Gets rid of it just in time. Nearly picked off. That one a dangerous proposition. But fortunately for Kent State, they'll live to tell about it with a punt. But it nearly could have been an interception from Cal El Pascal.
Well, that Bowling Green defense is doing another great job of just stifling any momentum this Kent State offense tries to get going. They bring pressure, don't bring pressure. You see Drew DeShields is able to scramble. He throws the ball, and all the Falcons descend on their ball just like that tackler just descended on this Bowling Green punt return.
Yeah, that was Trey Rubenstein coming down to make the tackle on special teams. He had in practice, a big interception his coaches were raving about. They wanted to put him out there to make plays, and he did just that. We have more second quarter right after this. 7-0 the score here at Kent State. Bowling Green with that lead as we welcome you into what we're getting to be more and more football weather later in the season. Temperature dipped this week in Northeast Ohio about 15 degrees. We were living the good life. I mean, we had the 70-degree Monday, and then here we are today, cooling off a little bit, but I mean, look at the football players. They don't look cold. They're fine.
We're all weather. We're all weather individuals. Doesn't matter what it is.
Handoff. And that one put to a quick end. Nice job defensively. Kent State making sure with C.J. Young to limit the first down.
C.J. Young is a baller, man. I was here a couple of weeks ago constantly calling his name, and we've called his name several times a day because he just knows how to play linebacker. He just knows how to play and be an impact player because he is an impact player. And Chris McMillan on the other side, the running back, we've seen him have some nice carries as well. So both impact players having an impact.
May tipped over the middle. The last thing you ever want to hear if you're a quarterback. Once that ball gets tipped, everything is in play, but that one harmlessly falls to the turf.
And that's how you're supposed to. If you can't get there, stop, get your hands up like number 21 just did. And he's able to initiate the tip drill. That's Mr. Cordoba. Joel Cordoba with another great play and getting his name called once again.
3rd and 9. Throws it out of the backfield and brought down immediately. Once again, Mason Woods in the battle of the zeros taking down Kadarius Roberts.
Man, I can't overstate how impressive of a tackle that is. Not only in open space, but receiver or running back that's that size, but to be able to stay with him and throw the quick little bubble screen flare out and just embrace him. Take him down. Power slam. Very impressive play by Mr. Mason.
Wayne Harris is deep. He is standing at the 30. Henderson sends it away. That's a short one, and it hits the back of one of the coverage players for Bowling Green. They down it. They're still waiting for a big return in today's game, but we'll see. Kent State and their offense once again here in the second quarter, trailing by 7. Bowling Green, the 7-0 edge over Kent State. 10:35 to go. How about Maction time? Start to see some of the weekday games, which means on the weekend, you'll get Buffalo at Bowling Green. It'll be a big showdown. Also at 4 o'clock, ESPNU, Central Michigan at Western Michigan. When we start getting this time of year, it is real. Things kind of change in this conference.
Well, you know, it's that time. Not only it's getting colder, we're hitting winter time, but you get into the meat of the season where every game is extremely important. This ain't like the preseason, the first couple of games of the year. So, of course, we got some great group of games next week in Maxon, just like we have every weekend.
Kevin Garcia in there at running back. DeShields needs to get rid of it. And it's caught, again, near sidelines. He's fallen in love with those rollouts. Deshaun Martin, his first catch of the day.
But I love the way Deshaun Martin kept himself alive, because anytime when you're a quarterback and your first read is not there and he starts to scramble, you have to ad-lib. You have to be in sync with your quarterback, and Deshaun Martin in sync with Drew DeShields, and been able to hook up for a nice little 6-7 yard.
I'll tell you who's been quiet today is Cade Wolford. Last week had a 75-yard touchdown catch. Quick slant and a first down. Well, Kent State on the move. They think that ball might have come out, but I did hear a whistle. You see Martin there once again. Kent State getting that offense on the move. I think he was down, and Kent State going quickly with the run on first down. Didn't get much. Seeing those helmets that Kent State is wearing this week. It's Military Appreciation Week for Coach Carney. That meant a lot to him, his family, his brother. He's in the armed services. His dad was in the local Metro Parks Police. And you notice they're wearing the camouflage on the helmet. Nice run that time up the middle. Newbin and Kent State going tempo.
And that's what Newbin can do, north and south. I love when they have him going north and south instead of going towards the sideline. But right now it looks like somebody
number 18.
Backwards.
5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
I feel bad for Hunter Hopperton. They got him with it. It could have been anybody.
Yeah, I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't be upset. Like, why are you picking on me, man? I mean, it was more than just me, but he's the one that gets the finger pointed at, and he's the one that gets called out. Just like you were just calling out Mark Carney, the interim head coach here at Kent State. You called him out for some great things.
Yeah, his brother at Air Force. So this week it was going to be really important. That's why they're wearing those helmets today. It's all part of developing an identity here in this program. That ball floating, diving, near grab. Just out of the outstretched arms of Cade Wolford. Would have been a biggie.
It would have been a hugie. And you see Cade Wolford, and I like Drew DeShields because he threw this ball to a spot. He didn't throw the ball to Cade Wolford. That's something that they've been dancing and working on. Wolford with a great effort to be able to stretch out and get the ball. Just can't bring it in, but you do love the determination and you do love the effort. And it was really a good ball by Drew DeShields. He threw it to a spot, but unfortunately, Cade couldn't bring it in.
They're 8-17 on fourth down, and they're going to go for it. Martin in motion. His Shields over the middle. It's caught. Still on his feet. Big play. Christian Berry delivers on fourth down.
Christian Berry with the very, very good play. If they're going to leave the middle of the field open, Drew DeShields is seeing this. You just tell Berry, look, just go down the hash. I'm going to give it to you. That's exactly what he did. Not only was Berry able to catch that rock wide open, he was able to get some yak, and that's some yards after catch. So I'm not talking about yak that you drink. I'm talking about that yak that's that positive yak that has some positive feelings right now for this Kent State offense.
Now Bowling Green, the trainers out tending to Caden Marshall, who has been a big-time replacement for Another linebacker was having himself a terrific start to the season in Dorian Pringle. He unfortunately is out for the year. So the Falcons can ill afford any more absences there from the linebacker position, but he was able to come off the field.
And talking to Bowling Green defense coordinator Brandon Fisher, he was talking about how important not only his linebackers are, but that Mike linebacker, specifically Dorian Pringle. So not having him has been a huge blow to this Bowling Green defense, because Brandon Fisher says the Mike makes the call. If the Mike is wrong, he's wrong, but everybody else has to be right. He doesn't really worry about it. So we know how much this Bowling Green defense and Brandon Fisher relies on his good linebacker play.
Operating out of the pistol, Wayne Harris getting set there in the slot, and now he's in motion again. Little too much time. Flags are out. And we're going to hear from our referee, Billy Williams.
54 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's twice on the drive that they've been flagged. This time, the redshirt junior, Dustin Morrell. And that takes them back 5 yards. 1st and 15. Same formation. They'll go with the pistol. Fake the pitch. He's got to run now. DeShields stepping up. Wide open and dropped. Wayne Harris, his eyes got as big as you can imagine, and he just couldn't corral the football. Would have been a touchdown.
Wow, all we can see is Wayne's world just failed right here. Wayne Harris, great play by Drew DeShields to keep it going, and Wayne, no one is there but him and himself, and just drops it. I know he feels horrible right now, but got to move on to the next play, but huge opportunity lost.
Life goes on. 2nd and 15 to Shields. The screen is blown up. Gideon Lamprin, middle name ESPN. We saw his folks right before kickoff. They were pumped for this game. Lamprin was pumped to put an end to that screen.
Gideon and his 300 friends. He doesn't need 300 friends. Gideon just needs himself, because that is what you call a big boy play on a big boy baller, because Jordan Newman is a big dog, but Gideon, ESPN Lamprin, getting talked about on ESPN because that lamp just put lights out on Mr. Newman.
Well, 3rd and 18, Kent State going backwards. Newman tries to get some of it back, and that is a rumbling run down to the 18 to make a potential field goal attempt a lot more manageable.
And that's what you have to do when you have 3rd and long like that. You can take a shot to the end zone, but I'm pretty sure that Kent State offense, specifically Drew DeShields, is still kind of down with Wayne Harris dropping that touchdown, so now they at least get a field goal attempt.
35 yards from the right hash, Will Horisco. He's 2 for 3 on the season. And that one puts the Golden Flashes on the board. And that is their first red zone field goal attempt this year. It's good. Cuts into the lead. Both teams are now on the board. 7-3 our score at Dix Stadium.
And we got to come back to this. Kent State just missed opportunity. Great play by Drew DeShields, but Wayne Harris not going to get hit. Thought somebody was there coming to hit him and trying to run and turn around and watch for a defender or watch for the touchdown before he brings the ball in. And that's one of the first things they tell you as a receiver. You got to bring that ball in, man, and get it.
But you saw what happened, though. DeShields went right over to him. I mean, he ran down the field to tap him on the helmet to let him know, like, we're going to have opportunities here. And they did. They cashed in on the drive. They end up kicking the field goal. So, you know, we'll see. Sometimes you might lose confidence in a guy. Others, it's all part of the buildup.
And that's good leadership. That's what a good leader does, and that's what you want to do as a quarterback, because he knows that Wayne Harris is an integral part of what they're trying to do today and throughout this season, so he can't have him hanging his head off a missed play like that, because everybody misses plays. Everybody makes mistakes during the course of a football game, so you can't linger in that.
So I feel bad. We got excited all week because we had two of the best kickoff returners in the country represented on these two teams. Darius Clark for Kent State. For BG, it was Cameron Pettaway. We haven't seen a return yet. Now, Pettaway looked like he was going to try to go before the game. You saw him. Unfortunately, wasn't able to. At least we haven't seen him yet. So right now hasn't lived up to the billing, but I think it's because special teams coaches this week were on notice.
Of course, man. I mean, if Darius Clark is the one out there, when you have a chance to kick it to him, don't kick it to him. That's just good coaching. That's just smart coaching.
Nice first down run that time by Austin Dendy, but tripped over his feet. Might have been more.
And Eddie George talked about Austin Dendy, that he said he was going to give him some opportunities to tote their pill today, and he's done that. And when you have a running back like as great as Eddie George was, giving praise and hype to another running back whom he coaches, that lets you know that Dendy has something special about him.
So they gave him 6. Quick throw and went just about, got closer to that first down, but Kent State was absolutely ready for it that time, as Joel Cordoba has been about everywhere in this game, as you see Middleton kind of wincing off the field.
Cordoba has been one of those golden flashes who has been flashing the entire day. We've called his name several times, whether he's getting to Dikembe Mutombo on some balls, which means blocking some balls, or just making great reads and reactions on passes, just like he just did.
Baron May spreads him out, 3rd and 3, and he'll just run it, look for a lane, takes a hit right at the marker, but it looked to be just enough to get the first down. They did a lot of distractions right before the play, and in the end, he took it all the way in.
Baron May's tough. They talked about that he can throw it and he also can run it, but I didn't know he was going to be able to run it with this kind of physicality and this physical nature. But looking at him, he's a pretty good sized quarterback, and he turns into a running back extremely quickly, and he's physical, and he will bring the pain to the defenders. And that's one of those situations, man, you might not want to be hitting Baron May in the fourth quarter, because he's laying the wood as well.
May rolling out left. Now looking for his target, but that one a low throw. We've seen a few of those today. Allen Middleton was the intended target.
You have Allen Middleton out there on the double move, and eventually comes up on a deep out route, and Baron May just can't get the ball to him. And just like you said, we've seen several throws by Baron May today. He just needs to get it up, which means he needs to square his shoulders and set his feet and actually get good posturing and good positioning when he's throwing this football, because right now some of them are going down right to the ground, and that lets me know he's keeping the ball in his hand too long.
Markel Porter took his time, now trying to move the pile, and he did just that. Look at where he took contact, right around the line of scrimmage, and then dragged everybody about 5 yards.
That's why they always tell you, especially as a running back, and even if you're a receiver who gets the ball and you turn into a runner, never let your feet die. Keep your feet alive, keep them moving, because when you keep them moving, you keep the play alive, and even though you may be stopped, but you're still churning with your legs, that allows some of your teammates to come help push you along, and that's what we saw right there.
3rd and 6 for Baron May. And he is in trouble. staying on his feet down the field, and a near one-handed attempt, but a flag is on the play. He was looking for Jacob Harris, just threw it and hoped, and they might have got the call.
Pass interference. Defense, number 31. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And you see Barron making something happen. And look, he's holding him, and pass interference and a couple of different penalties. And I know 31 he's celebrating, but you can't celebrate after committing several penalties, and that's exactly what he just did. And Jacob Harris just turns around and points at him and basically says, aha, they caught you.
And Derek Jackson III. BG wanted to clean up their mess of penalties last week. Another bruising hit, and trying to stay on his feet afterwards, Austin Dendy took that shot and got a few more yards.
We got some grown man football going on out there. I love the way these running backs are going off tackle and coming physical, but I also love, and this coming from both sides, I love the defenders on both sides meeting these running backs in the holes and letting it be known that it's going to be mano-a-mano. So we have some very aggressive, very physical big boy football being played out here.
All right, 2nd and 6. Dendy is in the backfield. He'll get the carry. And he got a nice block on the right side by his tight end, Jiren Johnson, who then got into it a little bit.
And this is what you want. Look at the physicality by the tight end, Mr. J.J. Johnson. That's what you call burying someone. And when you're a tight end, you know, if I'm the offensive coach, if I'm Travis Partridge and he's part of the Partridge family, I'm seeing what he's doing.
Sorry, you got me on that one. The references are always great. On that note, we are to the 2-minute timeout. 7-3 Bowling Green, and they are on the move. Both teams with all their timeouts. Could be opportunities here coming up. All right, welcome back. Some interesting moments in this game because all the timeouts still on the board. You've got 2 minutes left. You got a 4-point lead. Just get that feeling that the end of this half could be some fireworks. The way teams kind of easing into this football game, figuring out who they can be. So at the 34, in the debut performance of Baron May, has looked comfortable at quarterback. Dendy, he's upended immediately by C.J. Young.
Once again, C.J. Young, he just makes plays all over the place, and now you see a little scrapping going on. He's got some lunge, so somebody about to get penalized up.
Well, we'll wait for the officials to clarify. Bowling Green seemed pretty excited about what may have led to that flag. And the last few plays, we've seen some jawing back and forth, some extracurricular.
I'm interested to see what's going on right there. You just see some extra football going on, man. Look, man, if that's what they call a flag on, to me, I don't want to talk about this referee because he was on the flight with me and we talked. He's like, don't be talking about me. But to me, that was just a football play, man. That's just two football players locked up and being a little extra physical.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 17. For the 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So they got Matthias Carroll, the graduate. So that's a difficult spot for Kent State. It's one of your vocal leaders on the team. But we had seen this brewing on this series. These teams are getting very physical. Guys are taking shots. And you know how this normally goes. That flag goes up, and everybody's pointing in the other direction.
And you don't want to give up yards, especially in a game like this that's competitive. Both teams are fighting hard. No one seems to want to give up anything. You don't want to just give a yards away, and Kent State just gave away some yards right there and got that Bowling Green offense in a very, very good position. 1st and 10, deep in Golden Flash's territory, ball on the 16-yard line. So you want to be more mentally smart and make better mental, not mistakes, but mental judgments.
Please set the game clock to 1 minute 52 seconds. Clock will start on the snap.
All right, so they'll put 10 seconds more. And actually, they took it up 14 total seconds.
1:52.
They're figuring it out.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that ball all the way up now to the 16-yard line. See if Bowling Green can cash in. Dendy tiptoeing around, spin move. Now plowing ahead down to about the 5-yard line. What a run.
And I love what I'm seeing out of Dendy today, Austin Dendy. He has a lot of quick twitch about him, and not only that, he's able to absorb the first hit. Great block for one by number 89, but Dendy is able to bounce off of that block, spin around, little spin cycle, get up the field and pick up some great yardage, but he is not going away and going down easily, and that's what you want from your running back, to continue to fight and try to get every yard and every inch that you possibly can.
He somehow got 9 yards on that play. You got Ridley and Jiren Johnson, the tight end, split out to the left. Dendy up the middle. Brought down shy of the goal line, but it is enough for a first down and a new set of downs all the way at about the 1-yard line.
And you can see that Dendy is really, really feeling himself right now. His confidence has only gone up, and that's what happens when you're able to come out there. Coach has confidence to put the ball in your hands, knowing that you're going to make something positive happen. And when you have an offensive line blocking the way that Bowling Green offensive line is blocking right now as a running back, you don't love anything more. You want to make sure all their hard work pays off by you doing your job. And so far, Dendy is doing his job.
I was a little surprised Kent State did not opt to use timeouts. They've got 3 of them if they wanted to get the football back. Dendy takes the carry, and he finishes what he started. Touchdown, Bowling Green, and a big score before the end of the first half.
And Dendy done it. And that's how you finish off a drive. And that's the beauty of having a head coach who's a running back, because normally when running backs able to tote the peel down to the goal line, they'll let somebody else score the touchdown. But Eddie George and Travis Partridge and Greg Nozell allowing Dingy to finish off this drive the only way he knows how is get a big 6.
Cleathers 15 for 15 on extra points this year, make it 16. And what a drive for the Falcons. That's exactly what you want to do. Use up a lot of clock and bulldoze your way in for a gutsy touchdown. They said this week, it was Eddie George this week that said, running game was putrid last week in that loss against Central Michigan. How would you evaluate the running game today?
Well, right now, if it was putrid last week, that running game has left Kent State feeling petrified, because they have played extremely physical. And look at that drive, 12 plays, 75 yards, almost 6 minutes, and what you were seeing is Bowling Green imposing their will and what they wanted to do on their Kent State defense, and that was a great example of it right there. But even looking at that touchdown run, I was looking at that Kent State defensive line. They did a great job of leverage. They were actually up underneath the shoulder pads of that Bowling Green offensive line, but those Bowling Green offensive linemen so strong, they're still able to hold them up long enough and just a little bit of space that Dindy was able to get through and power his way for that touchdown run.
So last week, Bowling Green, the rushing effort was 4.4 yards per carry. They had 157 yards already in the first half today, 102 yards. And Bowling Green not going to allow any kind of big return, as it was the pooch kick and a fair catch. And then again, these teams letting each other know before the end of the half, like, we're going to be here for a while. So the officials were quick to help them disperse. So what do you do now if you are Kent State? You got your timeouts, but you also want to make sure against this Bowling Green defense that has been very physical. Their defensive line has done some good work up front. You don't make any huge gaps before the half.
No, but I wouldn't wave the white flag. I at least try one attempt to get down the field, but this Bowling Green defense hasn't allowed any big plays so far, aside from the Wayne Harris drop, but they've been pretty stout.
Garcia, he took the carry, was brought down from behind. And they are going to be content. I also wondered if Bowling Green was going to potentially use their timeouts. They had 3 of them. You don't see this much in a first half of football where neither team uses a timeout.
That's almost like leaving money in the bank, man. I don't understand it. But, hey, they made the decision, so.
Some would say at times that's a broadcaster's dream. Maybe not for the sponsors, though. All right, there we go. It's halftime. 14-3. Bowling Green has that lead. We have plenty of football left. Remember, Bowling Green is going to receive the football at the start of the third quarter. We've had plenty of action out here. We'll break it all down during our halftime show, and we'll introduce you to one of the biggest figures in college football this year. It's not what you think. You're watching Mid-American Conference Football on ESPN. Welcome back. It's halftime here between the Bowling Green Falcons and the Kent State Golden Flashes. Stay tuned. We'll be back with so much more right after this. We're here at the midway point between Bowling Green and Kent State. Now, we'd like to take this time to let you know about the ESPN app. Get all of ESPN college football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app, and unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan, or log in with your TV provider. First half highlights and stats when we return to Dick's Stadium. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. Halftime between Bowling Green and Kent State. While Freddie and Frida might be the official mascots of Bowling Green, there's a new mascot in town. Its name is Pudge. Jeremy Schaap has more.
Back in March, when Bowling Green hired Eddie George, the 1995 Heisman Trophy winner, as its new head football coach, it seemed clear he would be the face of the program. But things have changed.
Pudge.
Pudge the cat, Bowling Green's unofficial mascot.
Pudge is like Julius Caesar around here, you know. When he comes down the street, the crowd parts. You know, they throw rose petals at his feet. He is the rock star.
Pudge Mania took off in early August at training camp. That was when Finn Hogan, a senior receiver, first encountered senior long snapper George Carlson's 3-year-old exotic short hair.
I was in the training room and someone came in and was like, hey, like there's a cat hanging out in one of the lockers in the locker room. I was like, what? So I had to go check it out like anybody else would.
Hogan decided to post a video of Pudge to TikTok and Instagram. In an instant, a feline star was born. When you brought him into the locker room, what was the reason?
We had a tough practice before where people were kind of emotional and coaches were emotional. And so I thought, you know, what wouldn't be a better thing to bring my cat in and kind of switch things up.
2 months later, and Pudge is sitting pretty. A fat cat with NIL deals pouring in. He travels to road games where hotels have been known to exempt him from their no pets policies. He even has security. Actually, Assistant Athletic Director Taylor Jefferson.
No one signed me up for it, but you got to dress for the job that you want. That's what you always hear. It's a job I take very seriously. He needs the security. There's lots of people out there who want a piece of Pudge.
For his part, the Falcons head coach betrays no resentment regarding his demotion on the depth chart.
Love the cat. He is amazing. Although I'm allergic to him, with the cats.
Pudge the cat has become the story. People say, hey, can you drive to Cleveland to have Pudge on a radio show? I'm like, it's radio. He doesn't talk.
Pudge, thank you for making the time for us. I know you have a busy schedule and you're in the process of grooming yourself. What has this been like for you? Becoming one of the biggest celebrities of the college football season.
But the power of Pudge transcends speech. For George Carlson, Pudge has been a constant source of comfort and strength, especially after his mother, Kristen, was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. She died last year at the age of 57.
I needed to make sure that I had somebody to talk to or be able to get me out of a dark mindset that I could get into. So Pudge was great. I think just having a companion was the best thing for me. He's brought me a lot of joy, a lot of comfort, especially in tough times, and allowing other people to have smiles on their faces from just seeing Pudge. I think it's a huge thing.
What's in it for Pudge?
What makes Pudge happy is this. It's not the celebrity. What he loves to do is to ease the spirits of broken souls. My only concern is I just want him to enjoy his life. He just wants to be a cat, man. He just wants to love. He wants to hang out. He just wants to get the sunshine. He wants to have snacks. He wants to be cuddled. Let Pudge just be Pudge sometimes.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights from our first half. BG with the 14-3 lead. We didn't know what to expect from Baron May with his first throws. How's that to cap off a touchdown drive?
Expect this Baron May to Jacob Harris, back shoulder, one arm, snatch that. Then you got Drew DeShields. Wayne Harris cannot answer. No, drops one huge break, loss for Kent State. But this is a game able to come back and get a field goal out of the situation, put 3 points on the board. But when they did this, Bowling Green does this. Powers his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Mr. Dendy done it.
The Falcons got that running game going, and you see Kent State narrowed it a little bit in terms of total yards, but time of possession, that's exactly what you would expect a Heisman Trophy running back coach to preach. 18 minutes, they had that rock.
Turn around, hand that rock off, block for that rock, tote that rock, and that's exactly what Bowling Green has done. And you see Mark Carney trying to come up with some kind of answer and some kind of spark for his team in this second half to turn this game around in their favor.
And Bowling Green, they got that field goal, now trying to double dip right before the end of the half. They will take the ball to start out the third quarter. Anthony Lima, Doc Holliday on location here at Dick's Stadium on the campus of Kent State, where we have seen a physical game, and everything was going along swimmingly until about the final 5 minutes, and both teams started to jaw a little bit. We saw a personal foul penalty that really aided that drive for Bowling Green before the half. That ball goes right over Allen Middleton's head into the end zone. A touchback. We've yet to have a kickoff return in this game. That's our fault. We built it up. These two teams, the premier kick returners in the country. Although Cameron Pettaway not able to play today, tried to tough it out in pregame. Meanwhile, speaking of toughing it out, Baron May coming out. His coach had some faith in him. Now you see the numbers. He started out 4 of 6 for 53 yards, had some nice conversions. Since then, just 2 of 4, 0 yards.
We look at that 2 of 4, which isn't very good, but the way they ran their rock was very good. That's why they didn't ask too much more of him as far as setting back there, throwing the ball, because they've been running the ball so well.
And they will stay with the run, and just about 5 yards right off the rip from Chris McMillan.
That's what they do. Chris McMillan is impressive the way he's toting their pill today. Both running backs, this entire running process that they have going, this foundation, this group, and it starts with that offensive line. Now, we can talk about McMillan and the running backs all day, but you have to give props to this offensive line because they are moving real estate.
6 carries, 28 yards for McMillan. They tighten things up with the formation. Second down. Another run, and that's enough from McMillan to get a first down. Actually, they marked him just shy, so looks like we'll have a 3rd and 1.
But what we just saw right there from McMillan, you can't coach explosiveness, though. To get that ball and go off tackle, it has to pretty much come to a complete stop. He comes to a complete stop, but able to put his right foot in the ground, go through the hole, and pick up some good yardage. Even though he didn't pick up the first down, still picked up some good yardage and has that Bowling Green offense in a very ideal situation in 3rd and short.
So they need less than 1. They bring in Dendy. You saw this on the goal line. He is hit before, but plows ahead again. He took contact behind the line of scrimmage and then found himself another 4+ yards.
He runs like he's hungry, man. He runs like he has something to prove, and now we can really see. We saw it in the first half, and he's continuing to do it right now, while the coaches said they have to get him the football because not only how hard he works in practice, but we see how hard he runs. He's taking advantage of all his opportunities.
The Dendy, a transfer from Mizzou. That's also where Drew Pine came from, who's not playing, at least thus far. He was going to be a game-time decision. A big hit that time by Mason Woods.
You want your linebackers to lay the wood, and that's exactly what Mason Woods did right there. We can talk about Dendy all we want. Mason Woods tired of hearing about it. So even Dendy with a nice little run, and look at the cut, jump cut, gets up the field. But Jakob, sit down, my guy. Twists and turns him like Chubby Checker.
Boy, they got him from both directions that time. C.J. Young as well. Fullback into the game for BG this time. rolling out, getting rid of it, man in his face, and a near skying grab from Brennan Ridley, but couldn't hold on to it. That time, May took the hit while delivering the football.
And it's such a tough throw for Barron, man. He's throwing across his body, but still able to get it out there. But just great effort by Ridley to even get his hand on the ball and give himself an opportunity to catch that. But Barron May just rolling out against his body, throwing against his body. That would have been a tough completion to make, tough throw, but still just great effort by Ridley to even get his hand on that ball and give himself an opportunity to come down with that catch.
Here's May. He's going to take off. Getting some blocks, but the flag is throw, which would likely negate what was a diving first down attempt from May. That was right out in front of the official. You saw Jiren Johnson, who's had some nice blocks so far today. He was engaged.
Offense, number 7. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Remains third down.
And that's one of those situations. You have Johnson, you have him engaged with the defender, great blocking, but a lot of times that you see him, he had him embraced and he was hugged, and it was almost a flop by the defender. He fell backwards.
Called him out.
When you see the referee, what he sees Johnson's arms wrapped around his torso, so that's almost an easy call to make when you're looking with your eyes whether he had him held or not, because he definitely had him in an embrace. And a lot of times when you're embracing someone, the referee's going to look like that as you are hindering them from moving.
At BG, their third penalty today, they had 15 last week. Big source of contention from Eddie George. May again takes the hit. This time it's caught. R.J. Garcia to the 45-yard line. Big play on third down.
I just love that route combination. If you see, you have number 11 coming on with a shallow cross, and then you have R.J. Garcia coming on the deep dig, and he just places the ball there perfectly, and he's able to bring it down, and then we get the crossover layup.
Boy, Barron May has made some throws with guys hovering around him. It's almost like he needs to feel that pressure, because we've seen some throws where nobody was there, and he threw a couple ground balls earlier. Another nice first down run. This is becoming a problem for Kent State's defense, because with the Porter run, it's another second and short.
They're just imposing their will on this Kent State front seven. And you talk about this Bowling Green offensive line, and I've talked about them. I'm going to continue to talk about them, because a lot of times offensive linemen don't get enough credit. They should get all the credit right now, because not only are these running backs running hard, they have holes to run through.
He'll throw it. May in the pocket. Down the middle of the field to Jared Johnson out to the 10-yard line. Using the run to set up the pass, and Bowling Green is in business.
And it just looks like that Kent State defensive backfield was just confused, because they let Johnson just release them and let him go. It's almost like somebody was playing man and somebody was playing zone, and they weren't communicating. You had a defender on Johnson, but he just releases him, and Johnson is able to get loose, gets all by his lonesome, catches the rock, great field position, and was even able to do a little dance.
We saw Cordoba pointing, saying, no, you're supposed to be over here. I'm supposed to be here. And now BG all the way down there. The keeper, he's still on his feet. I didn't hear a whistle, as the officials let him play on. Unfortunately for the Falcons, the left guard, Jake Burns, is slow to get up. This has been an impressive way to start the third quarter for Bowling Green. They are on the move, trying to finish off another scoring drive to make things difficult on Kent State. It's 14-3. We'll be back. All right, Falcons finding some offense in the passing game. Looked like it had deteriorated a little bit before the first half, but some nice throws. Baron May finding Jaron Johnson, who is starting to assemble some decent numbers.
I just like the fact that they are rewarding Jaron Johnson because he's been doing a great job in the run game. He's been blocking, so might as well call his number. And when they've called his number, he showed up to do some great things. And that was a huge catch and a huge play right there. And looking at this Bowling Green offense, we can see because Eddie George, one of his mottos is chop wood, carry water, and they've been chopping wood and carrying that peel today.
That's 41 straight games that he has been able to be productive. Right now, that's second in the NCAA. So Johnson, you knew he would put his stamp on this game one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, Bowling Green is just, Kent State is physical, but Bowling Green right now is playing more physical than Kent State. And I would also attribute this to the fact that Coach George has his team clock in and clock out. Everybody has to hit the three-man sled at the beginning of practice and at the end of practice. And I can see how that is paying off right now.
Third down, Dendy trying to get the push. And BG trying to signal. They thought he was in, but it looks like they will be stopped at the 1 yard line. And watch May here. Now they're trying to do everything they can to get Dendy down there, and here's the carry, and he walks into the end zone. Bowling Green, an absolute clinic on the drive, caps it off with a touchdown for Baron May.
Now, great read, great decision to keep the ball by Baron May, but you know why he was able to walk in all by his lonesome? Dendy has done such a great job of toting the pill, and he gave his body up. Not only did Baron May fake it to Dendy, Dendy acted like he had the ball and he got wiped out. But as he get wiped out, Baron May wiping everybody else out as he walks in for the easy touchdown.
Here's the extra point attempt to make it 21-3. Still perfect on the year. Jackson Cleather, BG up 21-3. Kent State now needing to find some offense and in a hurry. They now trail 21-3 here at home as Bowling Green just has them completely flummoxed. The defense for the Golden Flashes not able to get off the field on third down the last few drives. And that one, another 6 minutes, 75 yards, and they made it look easy.
And what it is, Bowling Green just overpowering Kent State during this game, especially on their drive, just doing whatever they want to do on the ground and really just imposing their will in this running game. And that's exactly what they did and exactly what they've been doing. And the fact of the matter is Kent State hasn't been able to do much on offense. They had a missed opportunity and a drop touchdown, but haven't been able to do much on offense. But now you're one of your biggest weapons, DeRillis Clark, has an opportunity to make a play in the kicking game, but 9 times out of 10, 99%, they're not about to kick this ball to them, they shouldn't.
Clark back there along with Kimbrough, and here we go. Clark will touch it in the return game. Breaks a tackle but stumbles and can't get past the 20. But you could tell everyone in the stadium holding their breath at the opportunity for someone who's already brought 2 to the house so far this season.
You know, when I was trying to help us out, it's a reason why I said they were not going to kick it to him, because I was hoping the opposite happened, and the opposite did happen. But unfortunately for Kent State, what DeRillis Clark has been able to do so far this year did not happen, because Bowling Green with great kick coverage on that, able to get an arm on him and bring him down.
So DeShields only 50 yards through the air. So they've gotten in third downs, and unlike BG, they have not been able to keep the drives alive. Wolford in motion, DeShields. BG rushing 4. So about 6 yards on first down from Deshaun Martin.
Got to try to get Deshaun Martin engaged and into this offense, but right now it's just been tough for Kent State to get anything going offensively consistently.
Well, also Wolford, who had that 75-yard bomb touchdown early on against Toledo last week. That time they're able to fit the ball in and keep those chains moving. As Kent State trying to find themselves a little bit of a rhythm.
And I love that. That's Wayne Harris, man. Just get him the ball in space. Just tell him to run a hitch route. That's exactly what Wayne Harris just did, and Drew DeShields is able to get it to him, and they're able to get a fresh 4.
At their own 39, DeShields has to unload early. He was faced with a dilemma right off the bat from your guy. You spotted him before the game. David Afogo was right there in on it.
And David Afogo just telling Drew DeShields it's a no-go right there. We knew Afogo could be a menace on that defensive end, on that side of the field. And not only that, he was able to get the pursuit drill on Drew DeShields and making Drew DeShields throw that ball way earlier than he wanted to.
Yeah, timing was all disrupted. Barry in motion. Newman trying to dance his way, may have got a yard.
And that's always tough for a running back, man. When you get that ball in the backfield like that and you look up and there's just nowhere to go, because right there was just nowhere to go. And in situations like that, you're Jordan Newman and you look at the yards per carry average, it's not going to look good. But when you're not winning the line of scrimmage, that's nothing too many running backs can do unless you're a Barry Sanders type, and we don't have many of them out here.
3.4 yards per carry so far today from Newman. On 3rd and 8, DeShields pocket collapsing. He's going to tote it across the line and get even more. Another 5 after that, and a late flag comes in.
That's what Drew DeShields can do, make something out of nothing, and he's able to make something right there. And Bowling Green laying hands on him when they didn't have to.
After play, personal foul, late hit, defense, number 2. That 15-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the run. Automatic, first down.
MJ Cannon adds another 15 yards for the late hit.
And that's one of those situations where coaches talking about. There's no reason for you to lay hands on him, even though it was a touchy touch. But you can't touchy touch on the quarterback when the quarterback's foot has touchy touched on the white.
Gavin Garcia. It fakes the carry, and that one incomplete because A.J. Odom had a free run to the QB.
Yeah, and we see DeRillis Clark out there. That's probably was one of those packages they put in for him, and Drew DeShields just missed him. But you got DeRillis Clark out there as a wide receiver, sending him on a hitch route, trying to get him the ball in space, but they just missed on that.
Wolford sprints across. Play action. Seam route. And this time it's caught. Touchdown, Cade Wolford. 29 yards. Kent State back into the football game.
And that is what Cade Wolford can do. You see him in the slot. He just runs a post, and Drew DeShields put perfect air on the ball, and Cade Wolford is able to run right underneath that, had his man beat. No chance for the defender. Kent State getting a huge play and a huge touchdown when they needed it the most.
Extra point is up. It's good. Lead down to 11. Golden flashes here at home, showing some signs of life. And Drew DeShields, he did it on the ground and does it in the air. Let's see what Bowling Green has for an answer right after this. So Kent State, their first touchdown of today's game. That lead now cut to 11. Bowling Green will get it next. How about so far today for Drew DeShields? It had been rough. Only had 50 yards before the drive, but came through 3 of 5 on that last possession, 47 yards, and of course, the touchdown strike to Cade Wolford, his 6th touchdown of the season.
That's why coaches always stress, and they continue to say, this is a 60-minute football game. So regardless of what the game may look like, if it hasn't reached 0 yet, you still have a chance.
Retrieved at his own 1. Decent return, however, after Allen Middleton was tackled at 25. A flag came in late.
We've seen so many individual tussles in this football game, and we just saw another one right there. So
it's a good word. It's exactly what it was.
During the return, holding 18 of the return team. After this is the goal. First down.
So that penalty really puts the Falcons in a tough spot. They move it all the way back to the 9-yard line.
Yeah, Coach George talked about just having mental acumen, and we've seen Baron May. He's had pretty much physical acumen today, but Coach George says he wanted his team to play cleaner and not make as many mental mistakes, and we've seen some huge mental mistakes in this game so far.
All right, bobbled the snap, and trying to stay on his feet was Kadarius Roberts, but 3 yards in the wrong direction after all of that.
Roberts just did a good job getting what he could get, because that was almost a disastrous situation. Quarterback Baron May didn't get it cleanly, but still giving it to the running back, and even though it was all messed up, Terrell Miller coming in, just raising all kinds of hell, and just has him scrambling for his life.
So 2nd and 12. Kent State fans starting to feel a little bit of momentum maybe on their side. May in his end zone, steps up, down the field, incomplete. Boy, he had guys on both sides of him. He aired it out to R.J. Garcia, but just not an accurate enough throw.
And even looking at this situation, Kent State didn't rush before, but he felt some pressure. You see those 2 bookends, those tackles, getting ready to descend on him, and just made him throw the ball probably a little quicker than he wanted to. And looked like he had someone, but when you feel that pressure and you feel the heat from people's breath on your neck, you're just trying to get that ball out of your hand. And he knew exactly where he was, because he does not want to get sacked back here.
Oh, Garcia had an opportunity there. That could have been 93 yards. Instead, 3rd and 12 and all sorts of movement. And it looks like we got a delay.
Offense. After distance to the goal. Range 3rd down.
So last week, after the Falcons were penalized 15 times in that game against Central Michigan, Eddie George did not want to see a repeat of anything like that. But now they're starting to add up a little bit here. The 5th penalty on the day. So 3rd and 16. How aggressive are they here? Not very. May will get a few of those penalty yardage back, but it's a stop. And now finally the Golden Flashes defense can get off the field.
And I love what Cherokee Valeria, the Kent State defensive coordinator, came out. He said, look, they have 3rd and forever. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rush for them. I'm going to have cover 2. I'm not going to let you all get behind them. So he tells his defenders to keep everything in front of you. So not only are they able to do that, you have a coverage situation where you have a lot great coverage in the back end, forces the quarterback to keep it and get stopped.
And there's movement once again. And, of course, both sides pointing in opposite directions. It's 4th and 11.
Offside, 83, defense with contact. 5-yard holding, 4th down.
That's a little more breathing room, at least, on this punt attempt from John Henderson. who was second team All Mid-American Conference just a year ago. Has a 40-yard average on the season. Wayne Harris back at Kent State's 45, waiting for this one. And it's short. Bounces straight up in the air, and terrific field position for Kent State. And this is all part of the recipe. We talked about how they get back into this football game. And part of it is Drew DeShields, and now he'll have a great opportunity.
And when you have a quarterback like Drew DeShields who knows how to ad-lib, who knows how to keep plays alive, regardless of how well or unwell he's playing, it can help your ball club, and that's exactly what Drew DeShields has been doing today. He's continued to stay focused in the ball game, capped off by that beautiful ball to Cade Wolford from the slot on the post, 2-1 posing, and now Drew DeShields is posed up again and poised to hopefully put some more points on the board.
And after just a 32-yard punt, look at this field position. Already past midfield at the 45. Handoff. Cutting. There's a burst. And it's going to be a touchdown for Gavin Garcia. 45 yards. See ya.
When I say he shot out of there like a golden flash, like a rocket, Gavin Garcia hitting the hole like you want a running back to hit the hole. I want you to determine to get there. He's able to get there, get through it, then show some speed, and Gavin Garcia, GG, takes off.
There's no penalty yardage.
Well, they are going to take a look. Did he step out of bounds? Let's watch the footwork down the sidelines with Pascal trying to trip him up.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under review.
All right, from this view, I don't think there'd be enough to overturn the call. I can't say definitively whether or not he touched the white, but let's check it out again. And remember, it's contingent on the views. Maybe get a better look here. Again, that's tough to overturn based on the two views.
First of all, regardless if he stepped out of bounds or not, man, that was a great run, some great block. And then did you see that cut and their move to get up the field, plant his foot and get gone? It's just Gavin Garcia coming in there, bringing something different than Jordan Newman and making a big play when they needed a big play. But great camera work by our camera people. But what we saw right there is what we did see. We didn't see him step out. So I don't know if there's enough from what we see to overturn the call on the field.
All right, if you were to ask me if I think he stepped out, that could elicit a different answer than whether I think they have to overturn this.
Well, if I'm looking at the shadows are falling out of bounds, but I'm not necessarily sure his foot fell out of bounds. But either way, it was a great run by Gavin Garcia, and I don't think they overturned this call. I think they confirmed the ruling on the field of a touchdown, and if so, rightfully so, because that was some great blocking, great answer by Kent State, continuing to stay positive and stay in this ball game. And Gavin Garcia, who hadn't gotten the ball too many times up until right then, taking advantage of the opportunities, and that's what you want. You want to be not a flash in the pants, you want to be a golden flash.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld.
And there you see Carney's hands up in the air. His team has battled back. When it was looking daunting, down 21-3, they fire back with some big plays, some nice possessions. The defense got a huge stop.
And there may have been some thought of going for two right here, but I wouldn't chase points. I don't want to have any kind of mental letdown or down. I want everybody to stay on the high, and that's exactly what they did. You kick the extra point. It's still early in this ball game, so no need to chase points. Let them ride this high of this great touchdown run for right now.
All right, Harisco cuts that lead to 4. We got a ball game on our hands here at Kent State. Still 4 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the third. I just had that feeling in the first half this was going to be a good one. And BG was starting to impose their will, but you get some big spurt ability that we've now seen from Kent State, both through the air and on the ground. And we talk about spurt ability, like one of the things Kent State is known for this season in this attack, quick points. That's the 9th touchdown drive by the Golden Flashes of 2 minutes or less this year. So we know they can do it in a hurry.
Well, if the name of your team is the Golden Flashes, you should be able to score in a flash, correct? So they're living up to their name, the Kent State Golden Flashes. But right now, Coach Eddie George doesn't want his team to live up to what he was talking about, what happened last week by losing the middle part of the football game. And so far, they're losing this part because Kent State is coming out playing some football.
Well, Kadarius Roberts had a nice return out of the end zone to the 28. However, flags came in once again, and this could be setting the Falcons in the wrong direction.
Yeah, you have to stay focused, man. I mean, we can't say that enough, but the mental part of football is a lot more important than the physical
During
part.
the return, personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 44 of the return team. The penalty you enforce half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. First down.
A.J. Odom, who has had a few big plays in this game, but that costs him big time. 15 yards on the penalty for the second straight possession. Bowling Green way backed up.
And you see Eddie George taking his hat off, rubbing his head, smiling a little bit. We don't know if he's smiling like, oh my gosh, we're still committing these penalties, or I can't believe you called a penalty on that. So either or, I don't know what he's thinking, but we do know where Bowling Green is pushed back once again deep in their own territory.
This is all new territory for their starting quarterback, Baron May. Inside handoff, but that faucet got shut off in a hurry defensively as there's a nice play up front. Thomas Aiden doing the big work inside. Bowling Green had one penalty in the first half. They've come out of the locker room with 5 more. 2nd and 6. Dendy, right side. He's got blocking, and he's out to the 30. So that gets him out of the hole, where they've been able to call his number today with a lot of success.
And that's just great vision and a great run by Dendy. You get some good blocking on the outside, but he sees the hole, plants that right leg, and gets up the field just like this with the quickness, a huge burst and a huge positive play, which Bowling Green needs right now because they're kind of back on their heels. They've been taking a couple of shots from Kent State, so now we're going to see if they can eat these punches and answer back.
Got Wynn Sharp split out on the near side. Dendy, the carry, dragging defenders. Another 8 yards on first down.
And Bowling Green coming out with that 21 personnel. You got the 2 running backs and a tight end, but you actually have a tight end back in the H-back position, which I'm going to call him a fullback because they want to power off. And you look at Dendy's numbers, man, 17 carries, 85 yards, a touchdown. But look at that 5 yards every time he touches the rock. And that is what you call great running back stats, 5 yards per carry.
I mean, he wasn't even on the depth chart on our list at the start of the week. They were confident to get him those opportunities. That ball is deflected and batted down in the secondary. They were going for R.J. Garcia.
And you see Rawlinson with some great coverage right there, and he letting R.J. Garcia the second know that no, Rawlinson with some great coverage. You see him trying to go to R.J. Garcia on a quick slant, and Rawlinson just wasn't having any of it.
Kent State subbing in some of their beef on that line. So 3rd and 2. We're at 2:19 to go here in the third. The keeper, And they got that pile pushed, and he emerges. Almost slipped a tackle, would have been a touchdown. What a run, Baron May.
That's one of those situations. They talk about how tough Baron May is, and they talk about that he can hurt you with his legs. So not only does he hurt him with his legs, he hurts him with the shoulder pass. He's able to power through those arm tackles and get down the field. And it's kind of strange to say you can't bring a quarterback down easily with arm tackles, but Baron May, you cannot bring him down by arm tackle. You have to be physical with him and really lay the wood on him, because he likes to lay the wood on other people, and he laid the wood, and he's able to lay his feet down the field with a huge run.
Right now, Mason Woods, see him walking off with trainers right now, pointing to his midsection. And that is somebody that Kent State can ill afford to lose. His presence has been felt throughout today's contest. Boy, what a big third down pickup for Baron May. They've called his number a few times in big moments.
But the thing about it, Baron May is not the only. Every person that gets that ball, that runs that rock from Bowling Green, they keep their legs moving. You can tell they are coached on them. They practice that, because everybody that's been chosen that appear, whether it's Dendy, whether it's McMillan, or whether it's Baron May, they keep churning. They don't go down easily, and it's paid dividends for them.
We saw great effort from Woods to try to bring him down at the end, but he paid the price for doing just that. As Chris McMillan back into the football game and getting a decent carry on first down.
And see, that's another situation right there. We look at the yardage Chris McMillan just picked up. He picked up 4 yards, but he was actually hit 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. But since he runs so hard and runs with leverage, he was still able to pick up an extra 2 yards, because he would not die easily. And all of these Bowling Green running backs are running the same way.
As that clock continues to tick away already. Down to 1:15 here in the third. The pitch out. McMillan. Well, he broke a few tackles, did stay in bounds. Nice second and third effort.
And you just said it, Anthony. Nice second and third effort, because Kent State, the defense, did a good job of pursuit, a good job of getting to the ball carrier. But once you get to the ball carrier, you have to be able to finish the job and bring them down. And Chris McMillan have a nice little day as well, 40 yards, 8 carries, nice little average, but still just running hard. Kent State they're matching Bowling Green's physicality in this third quarter, but they just, once they get to the ball carrier, they have to finish the play.
Dendy is in there. Fullback was in as well. He is wrapped up, and the Golden Flashes have stopped him on third down. It will be decision time. 4th and 2. Bowling Green, they're looking over at their coach, Eddie George. Looking for a signal. Will they go for it? Will they kick a field goal to extend the lead? Only one way to find out. Third quarter, it's a wrap.
That is the end.
Stick with us. 3 down, 1 to go. We have a spirited affair here at Dick's Stadium. And better sit.
hey, we're riding high and this is the distraction. We got to settle back down, understand that there's more ball games to be played, because winning is a deodorant. It covers up the stink of what's really going on. And there was a lot there that we had to grow and learn from, from starting off fast to playing disciplined football to taking advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. There was a lot of opportunities that we left on the football field that can go unchecked if you don't check it.
There's Eddie George this week hoping to gut out a victory today, and they have decided to kick the field goal. Jackson Cleather, it'll be from 42 and the right hash. He's made 10 in a row. Crowd making noise. Good snap, good hold. The attempt is no good. Wide left. Kent State gets another stop.
And that's a huge break for Kent State, but I understand by Coach George trying to go for that field goal to give it a touchdown lead, but no go.
And Kent State will have it next with a chance to potentially take the lead. Don't go anywhere. Well, here we are, things tightening up between Bowling Green and Kent State. The Gavin Garcia touchdown run electrified this crowd and gave Golden Flash's teammates a reason to believe, and now they got a chance to take the lead. Anthony Lima, Doc Holliday here for a great one between two Mid-American Conference opponents. Kent State rolling off 14 points in the third quarter, throwing on first down. Complete to Deshaun Martin, and they'll give him about 7.
And Kent State's like, hey, Bowling Green, if you all going to play up off of us, just a couple of double hitches. And he had 2 of them open. He had the slot and the outside receiver open, but he chooses to go to Deshaun Martin, who's able to pick up 8 yards.
So Garcia is in. They're all bunched up to the right side. Short side of the field. Taking their time. Still 5 on the play clock. High snap. DeShields. Quick throw to the wrong side, but Martin made the adjustment and got the first down.
He did, and once again, Kent State trying to give it to their playmakers. They wanted to get Deshaun Martin the ball as well, and you give it to him on the right side, bring him on the left side, give him to him the ball because he's matched up man to man because Bowling Green bringing some heat, and you got my guy coming in and just doing exactly what he does, catching the rock, turning up the field, getting the first down.
Dorelis Clark is on the field for Kent State. Jordan Newman in the backfield. They're going for it. DeShields uncorks one. Clark off his hands and incomplete. Kel-El Pascal breaks it up.
And Pascal with great recovery because the receiver was open. Look at the deep post for Dorelis Clark, and he had it, but Pascal is able to get his arm and his hand in there right at the last minute and punch that ball out of there. But if the Shields would have led that ball a little bit more to the sideline, Dorelis Clark would have been able to run up under it for a touchdown. But nevertheless, great defensive play by Pascal.
Oh, DeShields thought he had him. The exchange took a little bit too much time, and BG, that defensive line with Caden Marshall coming through big. Remember, he limped off the field earlier in the game. He looked plenty healthy, making the stop there. Big 3rd down and 10 here in the 4th quarter.
And even though he made a good play, you know who made a better play? MJ Cannon, because he smacked the Shields but was able to lay up off of him not to get a personal foul. So Cannon deserves some credit on that play as well.
3rd and 10. DeShields throws to the boundary. Missed tackle. And it's enough for the first down. It looked like he was going to be stopped short, but Martin stayed on his feet.
And that's what you want to do when you have a player like Martin. When he's out there man to man and they're going to man him up, you want to give him the ball quickly, and he's able to pivot, turn around, pirouette, pick up some great yardage, breaking the tackle.
Boy, that is a big 3rd down play. Now close to midfield, and Kent State 3 receivers to the left. Quick throw, and that time wrapped up immediately. Pascal is making plays in the secondary.
Pascal read that right now. He saw what was happening. He saw that quick hits coming, and he didn't waste any time. But if I was Pascal, I would also keep in the back of my mind, or if I was Kent State offensive coordinator Clay Patterson, I said, I see how you bite, so I wouldn't be surprised if you get a hitch and go, because it can definitely be open because Pascal being extremely aggressive.
Look at Hunter Hopperton. They listed at 6'2", 250 in motion. And that one dead on arrival. Evan Branch Haynes.
Bridge Haynes blowing up that play, absolutely winning his block right away and getting to the ball carrier, and he has no chance. And just look at him, and almost like that's what you want. You want to engage the offensive lineman, and when you see the ball carrier, you want to throw the offensive lineman out the way, and that's exactly what he did. Just a grown man play.
Ardell Banks enters the game for Kent State. They need 8. 3rd down. Here comes the blitz. DeShields is dropped. And he did it again. Evan Branch Haynes ends this drive.
Big dog coming with 2 big plays in a row. He said, okay, I can stop the run, but I can also rush the passer and bring Drew DeShields down. And Branch Haynes moving extremely well for a big dog with big feet, coming in, making big plays, and he with a big walk back to the sideline because Bowling Green coming up with a big stop.
And that's the first sack of the game for Bowling Green. Brennan Ridley standing back at his 20-yard line. 10:30 to go here in the 4th. And this one will drop at the 30. And now takes a Kent State bounce. They'll down it at the 22-yard line. So BG gets the stop. They have a big possession. Coming up next, you're watching Mid-American Conference Football on ESPN. So we had a lot of questions before today's game. What would Baron May look like in his debut? Not bad at all.
Well, he said, you know what, Anthony and Doc, I know y'all have some interrogatives for me, but how about I do some exclamations and come out here and tote that rock like he did right here. Great fake, gets around the end because everybody is looking at Dendy running that rock, and Baron May is able to keep it, able to get it in the end zone with his legs, and he's also been throwing that ball extremely well today.
Yes, he's got 149 total yards, had the 28-yard run that was massive. And so now, that punt ended up being decent enough. Bowling Green will start at their own 23-yard line. And we expect to see a lot of this, running the football. And a nice carry on first down for Chris McMillan.
In Bowling Green, not surprised if they would go back to the running game right now because that has been how they've been buttering their bread so far. They got away from it a couple of series, but right now you're trying to keep control of this football game because Kent State has the momentum going, so now they're trying to impose that will and that physicality like they had going earlier, trying to do it again and take some more football out of the Golden Flashes.
So they got 7 on first down. A quick strike out to the far side. It's complete to the tight end, Jiren Johnson. Right at the sticks. It's enough to move him along. 9:30 and ticking.
And I really like what Jiren Johnson has shown and given us today, man, because we could talk about him catching balls and getting yards out the catch, but he's played a complete football game because we've seen him do some great blocks on several plays today, aside from him catching the football.
And the Falcons content to take their time. Comes a run blitz. They had him dead to rights behind the line of scrimmage. Staying on his feet, McMillan survived.
That's what we talked about. Kent State has been doing a good job of getting to the ball carrier but not being able to finish. But you have to give Bowling Green, these ball carriers, a lot of credit. Great hit, but you can't wrap up. You don't wrap up. And Chris McMillan not dying easy at all. That's Terrell Miller coming in here. He read it perfectly, got there, but not able to make the tackle. And you miss out on McMillan, and McMillan misses out on everything and break a tackle and able to pick up 5-6 yards.
2nd and 6. They'll throw. And ball is on the ground. Near disaster for Bowling Green. May was flushed out. He lost the football. Fortunate enough, his teammates took care of him.
And that's just great play by Kent State. You see Baron May trying to pump fake, but they're able to get that ball back, and that's Jiren Johnson hustling a little bit, but Antoine Campbell Jr. making plays, and Bowling Green able to survive something that would have been disastrous.
They had 3 fumbles in this game, 2 from Kent State, 1 from Bowling Green, 3rd and 17. And that play blown dead, fortunately, for the Falcons. They got a timeout off.
They're first. Maybe 30 seconds in length. Please set the clock to 7:34. 7 minutes, 34 seconds.
That turns out to be a very fortuitous timeout call from Eddie George there on the Bowling Green sidelines. That play was another disaster. And so what do you call when you got 3rd and 17 and 7:34 to go from Eddie George? And what a joy it was to catch up with him this week. This is a guy who could be doing anything. I mean, he's been on Broadway, right? Owns companies. He's somebody who has an incredible career, the Heisman Trophy, and here he is coaching football back in the Buckeye State.
Well, you know what? You can do a lot of things, but when you love something and he loves football, this is what you want to come back to, and he wants to be just as great as a coach as he was as a football player.
They elect to go with the ground game and trying to stay on his feet, but Baron May goes down, and Kent State gets their stop.
But it's another one of those situations because when Bowling Green started this drive, I said they're going to go to the run game. They had a couple of successful runs, but then you have the Bowling Green offensive coordinator, Travis Partridge, want to dial up a pass. That almost turned into a disaster. So now they're behind the sticks, third and long, and now they're in a punting situation and another punt that goes off the side of his foot.
Boy, we've seen a few of those from the punters today. John Henderson, not his best effort there, and with 6:49 to go, Kent State here at home. We talked about an energy with both of these programs. They'll try to find that energy down the stretch with a chance to take the lead. Locked up in a tight one here at Kent State. But the Golden Flashes about to take possession of the football right now around the Mid-American Conference. How about Buffalo at 3-0 in the conference trying to stay undefeated? They got 10 points the hard way. Safety, a touchdown, 2-point conversion. Miami, they will host Western Michigan in Oxford. Ohio University with a nice early start to their game, but right here, all eyes on this matchup. Gavin Garcia driven to the ground.
Branch Haynes again, just raising all kinds of hell down there. We've been calling his name the last 5 or 10 plays, man, and he's just been handling business.
They have not been able to block him at all. A guy like that can mess with your entire playbook.
Yeah, man. He's the branch at the defense department for Bowling Green, and it's pretty tough.
The Shields trying to avoid the rush. He'll take off and run. For the fans, they wanted him to turn it upfield quicker, but he wanted to give his receivers every last opportunity to free themselves up.
But when I see Drew DeShields move like that, I'm still taken aback. I still want to wonder how healthy is his hamstring, because he was running with a lot more explosiveness early in the season. So he's healthy enough to go out there and play, but I just kind of question if he's 100% healthy, because he had a lot of green turf. He could have picked up a lot of yardage, but trying to allow his receivers time to get open.
All right, they need 3. Bunch up the formation. Out of the gun. Newman. Well, he runs into a brick wall just shy of the first down. And here we go. We talk about big plays, big decisions. Clock is ticking, 5:20. Kent State's offense refusing to depart the field.
No decision to be made, man. You go for it. What's the score? It's 21-17. I'm at the crib. It's 4th and 1, maybe 4th and a couple of inches. No, y'all, we ain't coming off the field, coach.
Carney elects to go. The Shields barking the orders. Handoff. Newbin is met. Did he get it with forward progress? He did.
That's the only play to make. Look at me. Don't look at the game right now. It's 4th and 1. We at the house. It's 21-17. I'm Kent State with the Golden Flashes. I have a big boy running back, number 27, Jordan Newbin. Part to Jordan River, man. Look at him run hard. That's attitude. That's showing confidence in your offensive line and your running back. So that's a huge first down gift for Kent State.
How about the hit? The collision with MJ Cannon. .4:15 to go. Down 4. DeShields feeling the pressure. Ball in the air. It's caught. Cade Wolford down to the 10-yard line. And Kent State back in business again.
That's what happens when you show confidence in your offense. You go out there like, we're not punting, we're not coming off the field. We're going to go for it. You pick up a first down, you have that confidence, and they come back, Cade Wolford strikes him.
40 yards on the reception. Garcia, that time is subdued. 3:50 to go.
And look at this, and Drew DeShields knew where he wanted to go right off the bat. You got Cade Wolford, no one accounts for him, wheel route and wide open. Just a huge play for Kent State and a huge possession right now, just yards away from going up in this football game for the first time.
DeShields, 3:21. Clark, the throw in the end zone. The trick play pays off. Touchdown, Kent State. DeRealist to Harris, who redeems himself after the costly drop earlier today.
And what did we say before this game? DeRealist Clark makes people say, damn. And right there, he made Bowling Green say, damn. You have Jacob Harris, who missed a touchdown earlier, making go forward right there. The trick play to DeRealist Clark. We've seen him throw a pass earlier this season, throws another one, but this time it's for a touchdown.
Extra point from Will Harisco is good. A 3-point edge. They are having fun at Dick Stadium here at Kent State. They called it the playbook when DeRealist Clark is on the field. And now you know why.
Look at him, man. You bring him around on the rocket sweep. Now everybody in their right mind thinking, you got DeRealist, he's going to make a DeRealist play. And Jacob Harris, great ability to stop where he is and get that ball. Great throw by DeRealist. Not the best, but he's not a quarterback.
Got the job done.
Got the job done. That's all you wanted him to do was get it there, man. It was a great call by Kent State. Great touchdown. And now they got their first lead of the game, man, and all momentum is on them.
How about 21 unanswered points for the Golden Flashes? They are feeling themselves right now. This game was getting away from them. Bowling Green was smashing them in the mouth. Then they got some stops, took advantage of some Bowling Green mistakes and penalties. And folks, don't adjust your eyes. Kent State with a lead as that ball sails into the end zone. 3:15 to go. So much time. Kent State, they have their 3 timeouts. Bowling Green has 2 plus the 2-minute timeout. Eddie George, Heisman Trophy winner 30 years ago, 1995, and he would love to see a Heisman effort out of his offense and his quarterback right now. Baron May, what a moment to come in your first start.
And right now, if you were to ask Eddie George about the Heisman Trophy, he couldn't care less about it because he's all about right now, and right now he wants his Bowling Green offense to answer.
Squirts through. Nice opening play of the drive. That time from Austin Dendy. He's having himself a terrific game.
And that's the thing about it right now. They don't have to rush. They don't have to be too anxious. They still can do their playbook, which means run the rock because they have a couple of timeouts. You still have plenty of time left, and you're just down a field goal. So if push comes to shove, you don't get a touchdown. You still can get it in pretty good position and field position to try for a field goal.
Dendy was rocked, stayed on his feet, but he's going to go down. And Bowling Green going backwards at the wrong time.
And you're right about that. He was able to absorb a huge lick. And that Kent State defense, we talked about matching the physicality. Not only have they matched Bowling Green's physicality in the second half, they've exceeded their physicality. And you can tell by the score and the way things are going right now.
3rd and 4. They get it off before the 2-minute timeout. Caught! Allen Middleton in the open, and he's crossed midfield. Huge 3rd down conversion. And that brings us to our 2-minute timeout. Officially 1:58 on the clock. Kent State 24, Bowling Green 21. But the Falcons are on the move in hostile territory. Well, kicking game can loom large earlier. Jackson Cleather, terrific kicker, has hit from 56, 50, 49, and 49, but did not hit that one from 43, and so that's the deficit. 3 points. Again, career long is 56. So that would be the 39-yard line. They would have to go. And Fouled up behind the line of scrimmage. Brought down. Baron May had no chance. And Jelani Davis sends him backwards.
Jelani Davis has made several big plays today, and here's another big play, and none coming up bigger than that. Look at him just working on the offensive lineman. Spin move, gets around him, and is able to bring Baron May down, come up with a huge sack.
Third sack of the game for that defense. They get some of it back with the swing out of the backfield to Markel Porter. So that stops the clock. They're at 1:22, 3rd down and 10. All right, here we go. Fans on their feet. Out of the gun, May. Has 4 targets lined up. Kent State bringing the blitz. Ball in the air. Adjustment. Did he make the grab? Finn Hogan thought he had it. Ruled out of bounds.
And you got to give it up to Kent State defensive coordinator Cherokee Valeria, Coach Key bringing the pressure, and you see another back shoulder throw. But Terrell Miller, great coverage, great defensive coverage, and Bowling Green with the incompletion for Kent State. Coach Key bringing pressure on Baron May, and it pays off. So now we have a huge 4th down play right. This may be the ball game.
4th and 10. Buck 17 to go. May all day to throw. Goes short. And he is tackled right by the marker. Kent State says they've stopped them, and they have. Jacob Harris was doing everything he could to find the 1st down marker, but he never got there. What a stop.
And that's just great defense by Kent State. They know it's 3rd and long, so they don't want to give up anything behind them. You're going to give up the underneath pass. That's exactly what it did, and you have to give it to that Kent State Golden Flash defense by flashing to Jacob Harris and denying him from getting that 1st down. You see Baron May, that may be the inexperience of him for doing that check down, but you got to understand that's an open man he saw, and he was hoping that Jacob Harris was able to break some tackles to pick up the 1st down, but that Kent State defense just too fast, too aggressive.
Problem for Bowling Green, only 2 more timeouts. 1st down run, they'll use one of them there. Remember, the Golden Flashes had a 21-game losing streak. They snapped that in the opener this season against Merrimack. That was one. Then the interim coach, Mark Carney, was able to lead his team to a big win over UMass. And here we are at home against Bowling Green. His team was down 21-3. And they roll off 21 unanswered points. What a job done today. A total reversal of fortune.
That's why you keep playing. That's why you stay focused. You don't get down in the game, because as long as you're still playing, you still have an opportunity, and that's what Kent State has been able to do, and been able to turn this ball game around totally in their favor.
Well, a near disaster averted, and a late flag coming on in. So everybody hold on right now. Bowling Green, they're acting like they have the football.
Officials timeout for offensive injury.
Well, we have a situation right now. Player is on the field, and this place has gotten quiet in a hurry. So we'll take a look as Drew DeShields right there at the logo with trainers out. And you could hear a pin drop here. Let's take a look at the play as the snap was high. He gathered it. And then you see helmets converging. He goes down.
You hate to see his head snap the way it did, man.
So concerned faces, as you can imagine.
Just a football play, and hopefully he's okay. But to see his neck snap back like that, he snapped to the side, is a serious situation.
So it's just been one of those games that has had people on the edge of their seat throughout. A round of applause. That's a good sign from the fans in attendance, both from the home team and from the visitors. And he's walking off. A gutsy effort today from that QB, and we still do have a flag, so now we'll go down to the field, get clarity on what the call is from our referee, Billy Williams.
Well, first of all, I'm just glad he's okay, man. It's so good to see him be able to walk off the field, because at some point I didn't see him moving at all on the field. So to see him walk off the field and doesn't need any help, just need to be assisted, so that's good.
The result of the play is the runner's down prior to losing possession. Holding, offense, number 11. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is third down.
Yeah, they don't want to replay that down if you're Bowling Green, obviously. You want to get the ball back as soon as you can. They still have one timeout left. Of course, we have the stoppage there for the injury. And let's see here what Kent State decides to do with it. So Devin Cargman, who has gotten some starts under his belt this year, he'll go out of the gun, hand it off, and they were swarming immediately. There's a timeout, 52 seconds left. So what looked like a chance for Kent State to salt this game away now turns into a special teams play and an opportunity for the Falcons to get another possession here today. Unbelievable how quickly that happened.
It is. It's just the ebbs and flows of this football game. It looks like the door was shut on Bowling Green just a couple of seconds ago, but now they're about to get the ball back with another great opportunity to go down, and they don't need a touchdown. They can just get a field goal to tie this ball game up. So Barron May with a great opportunity to take control of this game and possibly this quarterback position.
Kent State has had 4 punts blocked so far this season. They avoid number 5. Punter went down in a flag, and Ridley is tackled way back at the 15. Now, it was 4th and 13, and we'll go down and await the call because there was contact. There wasn't a ton of contact, but there was enough to get the flag.
Looks like a run into the kicker, not a personal foul, but still, you got to be careful in this situation. I understand you're going after the block punt because Kent State has been prone to allow some block punts, but
running into the kicker. Return team number 18. That penalty decline was a play first down.
Yeah, you wondered if because that ball is all the way back at the 20, would you take the time again to see if you can get another block? They've seen 4 of them on film, but they say no. We need our offense to get the football, and we need to go.
And you need to hold on to them seconds, man. They don't put them seconds back on the clock just because you have a penalty. So Bowling Green not really ready to relinquish any more time. Just hurry up, get the ball to the offense as much time as we can give them. See if they can go down the field and make something happen.
So what's the MO if you're Kent State and you're the defense right now in this situation?
Out routes, quick out routes, try to dink and dunk as much as you can. Hopefully, because you got to get the ball at least to the 39-yard line. I think that's the field goal kicker, the longest of his career. So right now, some out routes, catch the ball real quick and get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Here comes the pressure. Sending bodies. That ball batted down. Baron May a little shaken up. Kent State dialed it up.
And Kent State not giving them an opportunity to do anything. Like, I know you want to get the ball out your hand quickly, but we're going to bring pressure. They bring some pressure, and it's Jelani Davis again, 9-5, with another big play and another big hit from a big dog.
Boy, both quarterbacks in this game are going to be awfully sore. 39 seconds. Here they come again. And this one was whistled dead, or it would have been a big-time play.
Prior to the snap, the previous play is under review. Please set the game clock to 39 seconds.
Wow. Well, it looked like C.J. Young, too, was barreling towards May as they ended up blowing the whistle. So what is the review here?
Either way, give it up to Kent State, man. They've totally turned this football game around. And watching this play, they're trying to say if it's a pass or it's a fumble. It looks like his hand was coming forward.
Boy, it's in the blink of an eye. And then he shot puts that ball directly down. So I agree with you. That's likely going to be an incompletion, or that would have been a wrap. Because there was a clear recovery on the play. That's why the officials want to make sure, and makes sense, right? You're in the final moments of a big game between two conference foes. It's been back and forth. Absolutely want to get this one 100% right.
The ruling of the field of the incomplete forward pass is upheld. It's second down.
Okay.
But Kent State not trying. They leaving it all on the field. They're bringing pressure. They said, Baron, man, if you're going to win this game, we're going to make you earn it. And they're trying to make him earn it, and they're making them earn it because they're getting to him, and when they get to him, they're laying some helmet on him.
So 39 seconds, no timeouts for the Falcons. 2nd and 10 as we regroup. May tries to get out of there. Flag in the holding area. Incomplete, and the hold here will likely be assessed. And what could accompany a runoff. So, boy, the penalties added up in a hurry for Eddie George's football team today.
Yeah, Kent State defensive line coming in with those stunt games, man, the little twists. Catching the Bowling Green offensive line off and snatching them.
Offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains second down.
All right, so they will keep the clock at 32, but they are going in the wrong direction. Now all the way back to the 10.
And Kent State knows that Bowling Green doesn't have an offense, a prolific passing attack, a prolific passing quarterback. So they keep bringing pressure, and I'm pretty sure they're going to continue to bring pressure right now in the stunt games on that defensive line, just confusing everybody and putting Baron May in a precarious situation.
May, screen, incomplete. Boy, that might have had a chance to Kadarius Roberts right in the middle of the field.
And they did. They tried to bring Kadarius Roberts on the middle screen, but
Officials timeout for an offensive injury.
Kent State once again bringing pressure, getting to Baron May and making him rush that throw, and he threw it high, and he's also looks like he may have twisted his ankle. They're rubbing on his shin, but Kent State and Coach Key just put all the pressure on Baron May, and just they got this Bowling Green offense discombobulated.
So if he is unable to return to this football game, obviously the situation at quarterback for Bowling Green with all their injuries, they still have, it looks like I see Hunter Name was out there throwing some footballs. Lucian Anderson was not able to go earlier today, and Drew Pine, the veteran who had stints at Mizzou, Arizona State, Notre Dame, we were told there was a chance he could go. They were playing it close to the vest all week. And now, as you see, the cart is coming out. And it's been awfully tough for these quarterbacks here at the tail end of this game.
Yeah, that's tough to see anytime they have to bring the cart out, because football players normally want to be able to walk off the field on their own, so it lets you know how serious it is. And Baron May really playing his first time really getting some significant action in. Has come out here and played a good football game today with the situation he was placed in and put in. Being the third quarterback and being pressed into action today, coming out to be able to perform like he's performed. It looks like they're putting the air cast on him. I see him pumping up the air cast.
And again, so Bowling Green's going to have to figure out who can play quarterback for them. They had the redshirt freshman, Hunter Name, who was a transfer from Washington State out of Aliso Viejo, California. So here's why we're in this predicament. May has been down in the end zone, and this is one of those where no contact is there. And those are tough, obviously, for, unfortunately, anybody who's played football, watched football. Those are oftentimes the toughest ones to sustain. The good news is teammates are all out there giving him pats on the jersey. So this is twice now this crowd has been silenced because of the severity of injuries to the quarterback. And we had made note throughout this game just how tough it has been for both QBs and how they kept ticking. Big third down conversions. Both have been able to take off and scramble with their feet. But Baron May, 142 yards through the air, another 32 on the ground. Had the touchdown. And we didn't know what we'd get out of him before the game. We didn't even know who'd start the football game before the game. So how do you now regroup after all that's transpired over the last really 20 minutes in real time, knowing that the game is still hanging in the balance and the Falcons need 20 yards with a new QB?
It's definitely deflating. It was already deflating before Baron May got hurt, and now it's even more deflating. But you got to end this ball game and keep fighting and try to give yourself another opportunity.
Well, there was movement, and then the throw was incomplete. So we have a flag on the play, and it looks like we got offsides.
Offside. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Obviously, the last thing that head coach Mark Carney wanted to see from his team.
But the way Jelani Davis has been playing offside, you give him a pass. You don't want a personal foul right now. You want him to finish the game the right way. But I understand he's been getting off the ball so quickly and so aggressively all day.
Hunter Name in at QB. Throws a dart over the middle of the field. R.J. Garcia, the first down. Clock stops at 17 seconds. What a delivery.
Name coming in and letting everybody say, you're going to know my name. A great clutch throw to pick up a first down, and Bowling Green still alive.
And they only used one more tick to stop the clock. Boy, everybody in this building thought this one was chalked up as a dub, but they're going to need a few more defensive plays 2nd down and 10. The throw to the near side, incomplete to R.J. Garcia.
Got somebody else laying on the field.
Now, this has just been such a physical game. Just want to make sure to pronounce the young man's name correctly, Najum.
Najum.
For Bowling Green. That's one of those. We were told 3 different guys could play today, and he was not one of them. So he delivered that huge strike. 10 seconds, 3rd and 10. Another bullet over to Finn Hogan to the 45. That clock continuing to tick. And they are running out of time. 3 is what I see right now on the clock. A little bit of confusion. So we could get the Hail Mary attempt here to end the game.
Timeout. Kent State, their first.
So
30 seconds left.
the Golden Flashes will use that timeout to scheme it up for what will likely be the final play of this football game.
It comes down to this. This is what makes good television. Drama. And we have drama today. One more play left from Bowling Green if it's not a defensive penalty. Got to throw it towards it as far as you can towards the end zone, hoping that one of your men, your Falcons, can come down with it. But if you can't stay, you're there to defend, and you see the safe defense out there. Everybody comes back deep. Protect the end zone, protect the goal line, and don't let anybody get behind you.
Now let's look at how Kent State was stationed. As a quick look at the all-22, they got 3 guys lined up on the line of scrimmage. Najum will unload one, and it's short and incomplete. Kent State battles back. They were down 21-3, and just like that, they have their 3rd win of the season. Incredible come from behind victory at home at Dick's Stadium.
Wow. All I can say is wow. You have Kent State fans, because the window is open, they giving us high fives, so that means they enjoyed the broadcast, but even more they enjoyed the game, which ends with the dub, and then able to come back and play the way that they played. We can't speak enough of the job that Mark Carney is doing and has done today to have his team in this position to get this dub in a huge MAC conference win.
Boy, they were on the ropes. It was looking dicey. Bowling Green was having their way up front, and just like that, they got things turned around, and they had that spirit that head coach Mark Carney has been talking about week in and week out, that some of the negativity surrounding the program in the past, that is in the history books. They are looking forward, and that's exactly what they were doing today, moving that football forward, not only in this game, but in their season. What an unbelievable year they are now having.
It is, man, and it says a lot about the kind of coach that Mark Carney is and the way his players believe in him. And if you're an athletic director, and I'm not trying to do his job, but when you see the way this Kent State football team has responded with Mark Carney as the interim head coach, him taking over what he had to take over, how he had to take over, and the way they played so far this season, I can't see if there's a better coach for this situation and for this Kent State Golden Flashes football team than Mark Carney, looking at the way his team, not only how they play, but how they respond when they're faced with adversity.
Well, I wondered how many wins would it take to eliminate that interim tag. So far, he's got some ammo.
He does have some ammo. He has a great resume builder right now.
All right, terrific game today. This one could have gone either way, and in the end, Kent State holds off BG 24, to 21 for Doc Holliday. Terrific job up here in the booth. I'm Anthony Lima saying so long from Kent State. The final score is 24 to 21. Don't forget all games airing on the ESPN networks, streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. So long, everybody.